All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Ricardo, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Marino, welcome to the chat, brother. Hope you're doing well. Welcome. All right, welcome. I'm not sure what happened there just when I went live before. I think, I don't know, I opened Photoshop and all my monitors went black. And yeah, it just wasn't very good. So I think we're good now. So yeah, we're gonna get going. Today we're gonna be flying. It's gonna be a relatively short stream, but it should be quite nice. Nevertheless, a little bit of change of scenery. We're gonna be flying in Italy. We're going to be flying from one of my favourite payware airports, which is Florence Peritola Airport. Absolutely brilliant scenery. You can see the control tower just in the background here. And yeah, we're going to be flying from there over to Genoa, also in Italy, right on the coastline. Should be pretty cool. We're going to shoot an RMP approach, which should be pretty nice, something a bit different. And then if we've got time, we're going to try and shoot over to just over the other side of the Alps into France, over to I forget the name of the airport, but it's basically just right underneath Mont Blanc, so it should be quite cool. But nevertheless, we are going to be doing at least this one flight through Italy today. It is a fairly short flight, but like I say, I don't have ton of time for a stream today, so yeah, I'm just going to sneak this one in there, and it should be a lot of fun regardless. We're going to be flying the CJ4, which is always a lot of fun. In fact, it was quite a while since I last flew it, until last night when me and Mariner flew it, and it was just great. So yeah, I thought I would fly it on stream for you guys today. I'm just getting my final couple of bits sorted here. Where's this overlay gone for me? Right, okay. Great stuff. Okay, we are pretty much good to go. I am just going to quickly test this and make sure it's working. Of course it's not. Right, that should be working now. There we go. Okay, that's working. Great stuff. And there we go. That's working as well. Great stuff. Just wanted to test that out before we get underway here. Cool. Okay, so we're going to be flying on VATSIM. There aren't any controllers really on, unfortunately, but nevertheless, we shall see what happens. Teddy, welcome to the chat over on Twitch. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Richard, welcome to the chat over on Facebook. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Tough week for you, Ricardo. At least, yeah, it's nearly Friday, isn't it? So hopefully the week is over for you soon and you can relax. Long time lurker, Richard. Nice, awesome. Well, glad to see you in the chat, dude. Glad to see you in the chat. All right, let's do this thing. So here we are at Peritola in Florence. We are on multiplayer as well, by the way. As you can see, there's a few name tags floating about. We are on All Players North Europe server, so if you guys wanted to fly along, you're more than welcome to. But as you can see, this scenery is it's just brilliant, really. The level of detail is just fantastic. Here we are on the general aviation apron. And yeah, I just love this one. It's just done to such a high standard. Everything about it just feels realistic. Yeah, it's fantastic. And even if we shoot over to the commercial side over here, where you've got these smaller, you know, like E-jets landing, and maybe a 319, I think 319s land here as well. You've got a little train that runs up and down. Love to see it. Love to see it. Or it's a tram even, I don't know. But it's just a fantastic scenery, and would highly recommend it. So, let's start getting things set up anyway. Jumping into the cockpit here of the CJ4. Let's get some sound on here. All right. Microsoft Flight Simulator being bad since the Xbox drop. It depends what you mean by bad, really. I mean, I've not really had any issues. Well, not any great issues, really, but I know some people have. Oh, no, you're in hospital, Ricardo. That doesn't sound too good. Well, I hope you're recovering well. Sounds like it if you're leaving tomorrow, so yeah, glad to hear that, man. Or at least glad to hear that you're doing better. Scoobs is down at the moment. I'm sure you know, being buds and all. Scoobs is down for what? What do you mean by that? His flight simulator's down. Is that what you mean? This Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020? It certainly is. Certainly is. All right, let's get this absolutely brilliant machine started up anyway. So we'll flick the battery on first of all to on. Oh no, incompatible livery. Are you serious? Oh. I really like this livery as well. Slick. Alright, I guess we're going to have to change it real quick. We'll just have to, yeah, we'll just get that changed real quick and then and load back in. It'll only take a second here. Excuse the music clashing in the background. Oh, his stream's down due to moving house. Oh, fair play, fair play. Well, yeah, I haven't actually spoken to him in the last maybe a couple of weeks or something like that. So yeah, I hope his move goes well anyway if you speak to him. Okay, cool. Here we are then. We're back and we're in a compatible livery this time. Unfortunately, it's just the standard livery, but it is a pretty nice livery, let's be honest. This is a pretty classic livery you would see on the Cessna CJ4. And it has the Cessna logo up there as well. It just looks nice. It just looks nice. All right, cool. So let's get it rocking then. So battery on. We'll put the avionics into dispatch mode, and the emergency lights we'll put to the armed position. For now, we're just going to clear that master caution and jump down here and go pause in it, and we'll align the position based on the GPS. And we are going to leave the flight plan for now, and we'll just have another quick check around the cockpit, make sure the parking brake's set, which it is. Make sure the thrust levers are in idle, which they are. I'm just going to test that mine are working. Flaps are in 0, and the spoilers are at 0. Also, landing gear lever is down, and everything else is looking gravy. The climate control is off, which you want for before you start the engines, and everything else is in the normal position. Over here, I never checked these to be fair, but they're all good. You could actually put this in the remote position. That's actually probably a more realistic position to have it in. I'm not sure if it actually goes there though, that's the only thing. No, it doesn't. Oh, Okay, I'm still getting used to this new control system that I'm just testing out in the CJ4, because it actually works quite well for the CJ4. But everything is okay on that side. So let's go ahead and just we're just going to fire up one of the engines here so that we can have a good amount of power in the aircraft. Hopefully if I turn the sound on as well. Just before I do that as well, I'm just going to get us loaded up with fuel and payload. So we're going to have a payload of 540 kilos today, which is basically what it gives you almost every time in the CJ4. I'm just going to make one person a little bit heavier. There we go. And fuel-wise, we are going to have fuel 1070, so just over a ton there. There we go, that should do it. So we'll close that off. We're all refueled now. Let's get the right engine started. Oh yes, I did see his post about the earthquake. Yeah, that sounds crazy, man. I hope everything's okay over there. Yeah, I did hear about the earthquake, but I didn't know about volcano eruption and the typhoon. That is extreme. Yeah, I hope he's well. Is that the reason he's having to move? I guess that's wild. 45 and 47 kilogram people. What are the kids? Yeah, they are. Yeah, for this stream. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not going to go through and just change all of these. It's just a pain. So I'd rather just set it using this slider up here. That's going to have to do for now. All right. So we've got one engine on, so we should have a good amount of power now. So we could actually just bring up our lower menu on here, and not that one. System here, and you can see the DC electrical bus on the right hand side is powered up now, so that's looking good. And we've got hydraulic pressure as well. Everything looks good. Okay, great stuff. So let's go ahead and put the avionics to the fully on position, and we'll turn the standby instrument on as well. So we've got this as well. So that's looking good. Let's jump on down here now and get our flight plan inserted. So we'll go back to index, go to a route menu, and I'm just going to load that in, and that's going to bring up the flight plan from SimBrief. Got you, Richard. Yeah, got you. I'm glad to hear everything's okay anyway, and you know, nothing too crazy has befallen him. I mean, I guess it's, you know, I bet it's a huge pain having to move house, and very inconvenient, but it sounds like probably the best thing to do. Okay, so let's get our FMS initialized. We've got our flight plan in, and our flight number. Obviously, we are not using a number really, we're just using the registration of the aircraft, which is Golf Foxtrot Uniform and Zulu Zulu. So that's all good and ready to go. Let's go perf in it, and we've got 7 passengers. And that's going to give us a zero fuel weight of 5203, which matches my flight plan perfectly. That's great. Sensed fuel is 1069, just a little bit less than what I've put in, but that's fine because we've started the engines, and obviously we are going to be using fuel here. We'll go to the takeoff page, and I'm going to get the METAR real quick. We can get the METAR through this FMS here, but because you've got to kind of switch between pages, it's a bit of a pain. I'm just going to bring it up on my other screen here, and we're going to use that. So the wind is 280 at 9 knots. The outside air temperature is a toasty 34 degrees. It's going to be 1011 on the QNH, and the runway condition is dry. Anti-ice is going to be off for takeoff, obviously. Actually, look at that. The outside temperature that's registering on the aircraft is 30, so I'm going to put that in instead. So the outside air temperature, yeah, obviously not going to require anti-ice. Takeoff flaps is going to be 15. These are going to be our V speeds. So we'll send those over to the PFD. They're going to populate up here in magenta, and that's all good. Let's go next. That's all good. Okay. Going back to perf, we'll go to VNav setup. Our transition altitude here in Peripherals, I don't actually know. So let's bring up the chart for that. So we'll go to charts, upper menu and lower menu rather, and then we're just going to bring up our departure, and we are going to be using the Ballock 5 Charlie here on the departure. So Ballock 5 Golf, Ballock 5 Foxtrot, Ballock 5 Charlie is there. So we'll bring that up and let's have a quick look here. So should be able to see the transition altitude. Transition altitude just there, 6,000 feet. I'll zoom that in case you can't see it. This button is very fiddly using this new system. There we go. There we go, 6,000 feet. Unfortunately, we can't rotate the chart at the moment, but we can certainly put that in there. Great stuff. Perf in it, we've already done. Next page. Target speed for the cruise is Mach 0.74. That's fine. Cruising flight level is 220. That's fine. And then our transition flight level for the way down is likely going to be exactly the same. So we'll put in 060, and everything else is good. We'll just check our perf page and make sure everything is good there. That's fine. We'll go to our departures and arrivals. Now, my Simbury flight plan has actually asked for runway 05 here. Now, the winds are at 280. So they must have changed since I created the flight plan. So we're actually going to use runway 23, which might mean we have to use a different departure route. I think you can use this off either runway. It's kind of funky when it's all rotated like this, but let's see. Oh, I'm having to rotate. Let's see. It should be on this list. It's not. It's going to be the... Oh, I can't work it out. It'd be Ballock 5 Hotel, I believe, then. So runway 23, Ballock 5 Hotel. Yeah, let's go for that one then. Instead. Although, in fairness, you could still use Ballock 5 Charlie, but for some reason that wasn't showing on the list. So we're just going to go with 5 Hotel. That's no problems. And then our arrival into Genoa. We're expecting runway 28. Let's try and shoot the RNAV for 28. Let's have a quick look at the charts for that as well. Where are we off? We're off to Genoa. Just on the west coast of Italy. Should be pretty nice. Proper tutorial, nice. Yeah, I always try and explain things as best as I can do. So, yeah, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. No worries at all. Okay, so... Alright, let's go back to our charts then and bring up the menu. Let's scroll down. And we're going to go for our approach. This is what I want to just have a quick look at. So we want to shoot the RMP-28. I think that's the one I was looking at. So yeah, we could do that one. Let's see what the minimums are here. Minimums of 1179. I'm not sure if this aircraft is actually an LPV Cat 1, so we might have to use these minimums, but that's not a problem. Airport elevation is at 13 feet, so extremely high minimums on this. Approach. Let's have a quick look here, see if there's one with... I mean, I don't think minimums is really going to be an issue today, but I'm just intrigued to see. So we'll go lower menu and then open up the approach again. Now, let's see. Okay, so that's just loading the chart up. I think you've got a long press. No, that didn't work. How do I bring up a different chart now? Hello? Oh, that's not working, is it? I'm sure you just hold down. This is not good. Hey, how do I... There's no way to clear it out as well, is there? Maybe if I just do a bit of this. Let's close that off and then just switch to another chart real quick. Okay, there we go. I like how it loads these charts in the airport information charts automatically. That's pretty cool. Okay, so it's just doing that again. Alright. Let me just try this real quick. Because I think some of the controls are a little bit mucked up in this aircraft due to the new sort of control option you've got here. So you've got this option here, lock or legacy. So let's try that again. Okay, that's not working either. Okay, guys, bear with me one moment while I just double check the manual. Dear, oh dear. PDFs. Working title. This might be an old one before they actually did the Navigraph charts. Okay, bear with me. Working Title CJ4. There we go. Need to do my pre-flight checks. I've done my pre-flight checks. I did them before I started the aircraft, or at least the very basic ones anyway. So each shots. There we go. Okay, so after evaluate Navigraph. To view, press the inner select push button if departure arrival has been selected. The corresponding charts. Let's escape G for night chart mode panel. Selecting a new chart. If the field has not been auto-populated. You can long press the push select button on any populated field to view all episodes. Ah, okay, that's what I was doing. Okay, let's try again. Okay, I think it's I think it's broken because of this new update, you see. Because you're supposed to be able to do what I was doing. You long press on that push select key and it should give you the list again of all the different charts, but it's not doing that for me. So yeah, I think it's a bit broken, but that's fine. I mean, I can check the charts on my other screen anyway. So no worries, we'll just flip that back. Unless there's like another way to do it. James, good afternoon. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Yeah, I think that's a bit broken right now. Okay, that's fine. Let's just bring up the old fuzz pad real quick. Anyway, I do just want to get us a good approach going on here because there is some relatively interesting approaches into Genoa here. So let's have a quick look. So we've got the RMP28, which is what we were looking at. We've got the one with the... Oh, this has got the minimums on it for... That's for circle to land. Okay. And then we've got a VOR approach. Kind of want to do the RMP though, because I hardly ever do RNAV approaches. It's got a 3.17 glide path angle as well, which is quite interesting. Oh, look at that. The VOR has got a 3.46 degree angle, which is a little bit steeper than normal. Let's see what the ILS has. ILS is 3.17. Alright, let's just go for the one we've chosen. That's fine. No issues at all. So that's fine. It's a good thing that chart's stuck there. In fact, I do wonder if I deselect this, if it actually goes away. No, it doesn't. Or if I actually change... I'm just doing this for science at the moment, guys. I will be a sec. Let's just go with that. VOR 28. Gaming Ben, welcome to the chat over on YouTube. Hope you're doing well. Just looked it up. They listed that. Yes. Yeah, I know there's a few issues with this new control system. That's why I'm using this, you know, where it highlights everything in blue. Because this joystick, it doesn't work since the new update with the legacy control options. So that's kind of why I'm using this. But I imagine it's also messed up other stuff like that as well. Let's see. If I go back to charts now, it's not changed it. What if I execute? Oh, it does actually change it right there if I execute it. Okay, that's fine. Okay, cool. So RNAV 28, and then the transition we want then is... I'm actually just going to execute that for now, so it brings the chart back. And then we'll go like this. So we've got Tiglo coming in directly from the east, and then we've got Gikut coming in over the sea. I think Tiglo is going to be better for us because we're going to be coming from obviously down in this area. So we'll go for Tiglo as the transition, and then our star is going to be Camlo 2 Golf. So that is right about here. We'll execute that one as well, and then if we go into here, beautiful. It's magically put that in there for us as well. Love it. Love this mod. So good. Okay, so just having a quick look at this, just seeing if there's any restrictions on there. It doesn't look like there actually is any at all, so that's fine. We'll just quickly go over to our departure as well, and just see if there's any restrictions on here. There is. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go to our legs page and just check all of the restrictions. So our initial fix is this one right here. So that's at or above 3,000 feet. You can see that's indicated here already. It's got the correct restriction on there. RQ601. Now there is actually... so you see these waypoints, they don't match what's on the chart sometimes. Now there is a method to this naming convention, and I would be lying if I told you what it meant. But yeah, there is a method to this. It's not just random. Now sometimes it depends on, you know, for example on this occasion we're actually taking the 269 radial from the Peripherals VOR. Now well, we're not taking that radial, but that's something you can use to identify the fix 269 radial at 7 miles. So sometimes you can kind of see that reflected in the name of the fix, but in this occasion I'm not exactly sure, but there is a convention to it. I'm not totally clued up on exactly what it means, though, but there is convention. There is a method to it. So anyway, next waypoint is D305K. Now you can see this one. So you can see this is kind of making more sense here. So you've got the 305 radial coming out of Peripherals, and I'm not sure what the D and K mean, but it is sort of making a bit more sense there. So we can identify that, and I think that the letters sometimes refer to as I'm not even going to guess. Anyway, so that's 6,000 or above, which is fine. That's all good. And then the next one is between flight level 100 and flight level 140, and that is already in there. So you've got 10,000 A, 14,000 B, which means between those two. So that's good. And Balok is at or above flight level 120, which is already in there as well. So that's good, and that's everything in there correctly. Okay, great stuff. So that took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to do. And we're just wasting fuel away here. So I'm going to try and speed things up a bit. Let's just check our flight plan, make sure it's all looking good on the plan view. That's looking good. Now, our transition of Tiglo is not really making too much sense there, is it? Because we're going to have to go back on ourselves. So what I might just do is come in here, we'll go to our rivals and just remove that transition. And execute, and that should make a bit more sense then. It's looking a bit funky still, so I'm going to zoom in there and just see. You can't really zoom in too much more. Alright, okay, let's have a look on the legs page. So we've got Calmo, and then a discontinuity, and then Barmo. It's kind of difficult to read what's what there. And then we've got another yeah, so we've got two discontinuities there. So let's have a quick look on here. We'll go previous. Okay, so that's our discontinuity there. That's at the start of the arrival. So we can actually clear that one out. That's no biggie. So I'll just put that there and execute that. So that's going to join the lineup. That's fine. And then it's this second one that we want to take a look at. So we've got Varap, which is the last waypoint on our arrival, and then MJ501. So if we bring the charts back up and have a look at our arrival.
May I have your attention, please?
Oh.
We have received indication that we may encounter turbulence.
Oh.
The lighted seatbelt sign
I must have done that by accident. Right. Okay, so we'll open up this chart and just have a quick look here. So we'll go back to this and just have a look. So you can see there we've got Varap at the bottom. Let's zoom that in and go Varap. Okay, and then let's have a look at our arrival. Yeah, so they're kind of overlapping each other, aren't they, really, these two fixes? Alright, let's clear the charts off and just have another quick look here. So need to go back to plan view. Yeah, so what I'm going to do there is I'm just going to get rid of Varap, because that's just causing us issues. And I think, I mean, you know, in the real world, you may not even have to fly to Varap. So we can actually just go ahead and grab MJ501 and just put it on top of Varap, and that's going to then remove it and join the line there. So that's all good. Great stuff. And then just one final check is checking the altitudes on our arrival here. So MJ501 is going to be 4,000 feet, which we want to not have with the above there. So I'm just going to put 4,000 and stick that in there. And then for the next one, we want 3,300, and we want these to be bang on. So we don't want 3,300 or above, because the VNav might then calculate us to be, you know, a few feet above there, a few tens of feet, maybe a few hundreds of feet, and it's just going to mess things up, because these need to be flown quite precisely. So let's do that. And there we go. That looks great. So that's all sorted. Whew, great stuff. Okay, so let's bring that one back up. And let's just have a quick look at our checklist here. So we'll go normal checklist, And then I'm just going to check everything else, make sure everything else is looking good. So I was using Axis and O's actually to try and set up some LVARs with this aircraft. So I'm going to just try and do that real quick. So let me just reset Axis and O's. Still says waiting for aircraft data. That's very strange. Connect. There we go. Okay, great stuff. So that's all sorted. I've got flight level change and nav on there on my joystick. So let me just test those because I changed those earlier on. So stick the flight directors on. They're synced on both sides. I'm just going to test this. Okay, it's still not working. Let me just try this real quick. Let me just amend this script. Update. Okay, that doesn't work either. Let's just try... won't be a sec, guys. Because it's very useful to have this flight level change button mapped onto a key, because this thing accelerates so quickly. You kind of want to be able to do that while still controlling your joystick at the same time, and it's just difficult to do without that. So let's try FLC. Yeah, that's not working, is it? Okay. Let's see if nav works. Doesn't. Just going to do a quick check here, guys, and see what this looks like. In here, CJ4, local variables. Let me just check what it's called. If you're wondering what I'm doing here, is I'm basically just trying to connect to some variables in the sim that you can assign to a controller, which you can't normally assign through the menu, you see. So yeah, I don't know. I think something must have changed in the update that's stopping you from using those variables. All right, never mind. I'll just have to do without, which is fine. No worries at all. So developer mode can go off. All right, I think we're about ready to go. So let's just quickly run some checklists. Just before I do that, let's set the Q&H to the correct value. I'm just going to press B on my keyboard to make sure it's correct. Look at that. So we've got 1014 when the Meta was saying 1011. That's interesting. Ha! Okay, fair enough. Let's just change this map to like that, and then I like having the charts on this right hand side. So let's do before. Well, we've already started one engine, so that's a bit late to do this one, but anyway, so battery switch is on, emergency lights are armed, standby flight display is on, avionics we already turned on, parking brake is set, wheel chocks are removed, cabin door is closed, seat passenger briefing is, we're going to say that's complete because that takes ages. Seat belts, pedals are sorted, exterior lights as required. ICAS is checked, FMS is set, and climate control selector is off. And starting engines, we've already started one, so I'm going to complete all those. I'm going to turn the climate control to normal. We'll put the beacon, nav, and logo lights on as well. Should have done them earlier. We can turn the seatbelt signs on now as we're about to get underway. So before taxi, avionics on, climate control is normal, passenger lights is on, trims are set and in the green, that's all good. Flight controls are free and correct. Speed brakes are checked, flaps are checked and set. We'll set those to 15. Just get those coming out now. There we go. Beautiful stuff. I think they added new sounds for that. That sounded different to normal. Hydraulic pressure, we can check that real quick. So let's just have a look down here. We've got hydraulic pressure on the right hand side. We haven't started the left engine yet, so let's just do that. There we go. There we go. Hydraulic pressure is building. Both DC buses are powered now, so that's looking good. Do a quick flight controls check whilst we're here. Oh, I don't think this... Does this even work? Yeah, I think it's that... I think it's this that doesn't work, because it's not responding to my inputs. Hey, Mariner, welcome, brother. Gaming Ben, did the update go smoothly for you? Through the DC6 went really well. Only some weird problems with the air temperature. Live weather had some issues. Yeah, it went relatively smoothly. I had a few crashes initially, but they seem to have gone away after things have started to get updated. So yeah, it seems to be pretty good for me. Can't really complain. But yeah, I've not had a chance to fly the DC6 yet, but I did a very quick takeoff on it and it seemed okay. How did it go for you, Ben? Alright, so hydraulic pressure is checked, engine only anti-ice is not required, takeoff data is set, avionics is set, autopilot is set, altimeter is set, pressurization, we can also check that somewhere. I forget where that is. Huh. I don't think you can actually check that at the moment in this mod. I think that would be on the CAS page right here, but you can't bring that up at the moment. ICAS checked, aft divider doors are latched open. Before taxi checklist complete. Okay, let's get underway then. So, what is going on here? Why is this guy pushing me back? I did not ask for that. Do one. All right. I love this airport. The ground markings are so nice, so good looking. Okay, let's release the parking brake anyway, and we're gonna get underway. This guy's got a death wish. Oh, is he going to get hit? Oh, he's going to miss the nose, but is he going to miss the wing? That is the question. No, he's not. He's going to get sliced. Oh my god, right through his neck. Poor lad. Oh, look at that. The tiller assignment that I've got, it doesn't actually work in this aircraft. It still moves the rudder. Interesting. Okay then, so before takeoff, let's turn the taxi lights on first of all. This is the taxi checklist, isn't it? Exterior lights as required. Brakes, we can assume they're checked. I suppose we could just do a little bit of a... Yep, they're working fine. Nose wheel steering is checked. Flight instruments are checked. Okay, before takeoff checklist, let's just start moving out here onto the taxiway. Okay, so ice protection system is going to be off for this takeoff. We'll make sure obviously we turn the pitot heat on before we get underway. We're entering the runway now, so strobe lights can come on. Rudder bias system, I'm still not sure how you check this, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure what you do is you just spool up one of the engines and put rudder in. Just going to check the approach sector looking clear, and on that side as well. It's looking clear. So we're going to taxi down, and we are going to backtrack. I am on VATSIM as well, which I have completely forgotten about. So let me just mention that to anyone nearby. Probably help if I connected first as well, wouldn't it? And it'd help if I set the right frequency as well, wouldn't it? 122.8. Put the TCAS on. Taratola traffic, Golf Foxtrot uniform, Zulu Zulu, Cessna citation, CJ4 backtracking, runway 24, Taratola traffic. Okay, so rudder bias system, we're going to say that's checked. Seats are upright, flaps are checked and set, speed brakes are 0%, trim is set, crew briefing is complete, TCAS is TARA. The radar is as required, so we're going to turn that on as we get underway. No, we can actually turn it on now, really. There we go. That's the terrain display. We'll have the weather radar on. We use this little pad to spin around. I'm sure this used to be different, actually. This looks different to me. Oh, it's because I've not gone right to the end yet, have I? We can hit the go around button as well, get takeoff mode on. So we've got takeoff enunciated there on the PFD. That's looking good. And yeah, we'll taxi on all the way to the end. I'm taxiing down sort of not the center of the runway here, because we are backtracking. That's the way that you would normally do it. You don't want to taxi down the middle. It makes people at the other end look like you're taking off. So go around button is pushed. Battery amps verify 20 or less. I'm not sure if that's simulated, to be quite honest, but it is actually at -20 currently. So let's check that. Whoa, baby! I guess that's someone on multiplayer, not on VATSIM. Oh, it's Harris. Is that? Is it James? Is that James? Alright, ice protection system. We can turn the pitot heat on now as we're about to take off. Exterior lights as required. ACAS is checked. Okay, great stuff. So takeoff checklist we don't really need to do, as that's just going to kind of happen naturally. So let's close off system here. We'll go back to MEM1 and bring up the chart for our departure. Just trying to do everything all at the same time here. Let's just scroll this back to our departure charts. There we go. I don't think this chart is actually geofenced, so I don't know if it's actually going to work for us or show our aircraft on it, but we can have it up nevertheless. Taratola traffic, Cessna citation, CJ4 taking off runway 24, Balak I've forgotten the name of our departure. Ballock 5 Hotel departure, Pelotolus traffic. Oh, bit of a bump in the runway there. Okie doke, let's just break down to a stop. Brian, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Alright, let's get underway then. I might just turn the terrain on actually, because I kind of want to see. They've put a lot of effort into making that look nice, so let's just try it out. Rotate speed is at 95 knots. That's not going to take long in this aircraft. So there we go then. Okay, we're going to pitch up to 10 degrees as we take off, and it's going to be a right turn. Okay, and then I think what I might do is I might just arm VNav. I can't arm it, just take off mode of course. Okay, never mind. So one thing I did forget to do is set our altitude. We can set our altitude to 220, which is our cruising flight level. However, you can see here we've got a restriction here at 14,000 feet, written in magenta. So I'm going to activate VNav once we get in the climb there, and that's going to hopefully pay attention to that. If you remember correctly, if you look at the chart here, you can see this is an upper constraint at this waypoint, which we will likely hit. So yeah, we're just going to pay attention to that. Okay, let's do this thing. So throttles up to about 40%. I think it's 50% in this aircraft. 50% on the N1. All looking good. Alright, let's go. V1 and rotate. I'm going to actually rotate a little bit higher just to control that speed a bit. Positive rate gear up. Okay, now I'm going to just dip the nose down a bit and we're going to start that right turn. Let's go to nav mode and VNav. Coming on to the flight directors. Let's go to climb power. Probably could have gone to climb power a little bit earlier there, but still didn't really affect us too much. And we'll go flaps up. Okay, let's get the autopilot in here. Forget where the button is, I'm just going to use the button on my joystick. That's looking good. We'll go for VNav and flight level change. And we'll wind that speed up to 240 knots. Alright, fantastic. That was smooth. I like it. I like it. Great stuff. Okay, let's have a look. Woo. Oh, the stutters. Hey, there we go. We've got James following behind. Fantastic. Looks like he's in a CJ4 as well. Great stuff. Lovely time to fly in the afternoon as well, this. Baby. Alright, so we're climbing up. We've passed our transition altitude, so we can go to standard pressure now. So we've got Alt V armed because we've got an altitude constraint, so we're just going to let this climb, and we're going to keep an eye on it because once we reach that constraint we'll most likely, well, we're going to level off basically. And as you can see now, we're heading outbound up towards this fix right here. actually zoom this one out a bit. There we go. Okie dokie, past 10,000. Let's get the strobe lights off. Not the strobe lights, sorry. The logo lights, the taxi lights. I didn't put the landing lights on, that was my bad. And we'll get the passenger lights off as well. And as this thing climbs like an absolute madman, we're clearly well above the required altitude here, but we are definitely going to hit that upper constraint. So I'm just going to keep my eye on it here and make sure that we don't accelerate like madness once we start to level off here. You keep losing my name tag. Yeah, that's strange that. I think I might have found the reason for that. To be honest, it's a bit of a strange one, but it's quite difficult to work out. So let's see, is it going to level off for me here? It should do. There we go. V-Alt-V cap. Flight level change is now gone back to armed. Let's reduce the throttles. And I'm just going to vary the speed so that we can kind of maintain that 240 knots here. Just for the time being. And we're now flying, let's see where we are. Alright, so we're now flying outbound towards Balak. And as you can see, Balak is our final point on the departure. It's just this fix right here that has the altitude constraint. It doesn't have a speed constraint, so we don't need to worry too much about the speed. We're also above 10,000 feet, so again, we don't really need to worry about speed too much here. But once we pass through here, it should go back to flight level change on its own, and it will start the climb again. I'm just trying to keep the speed at around 240 knots, because when flight level change does kick back in, it will use the speed that we're at currently. Oh no, okay, so it used the prior selected speed, that's fine. So we're now going to put the thrust levers back into the climb detent, like so. And that's going to start the climb back out again. Beautiful stuff. So we just passed through this fix and we're heading out to Balak. And we are on our way, we don't need that chart anymore. Great stuff. We can even bring the weather on this side as well and the terrain on that side. Not that that's really needed anymore. Alright, there we go. This thing climbs like an absolute champ. Makes following you difficult as I can't see you. Yeah, it's a very strange one. I'll try and explain the reason for why I think it happens. Me and Marino were having this issue last night, and I mean, maybe someone can shed some insights as to why it happens, but essentially I think it's something to do with my NAT type, and I've done quite a bit of troubleshooting, but I'll show you. So if I open up my network, Xbox networking, you can see what it does is it runs a little test here. And you can see here, Trado is unable to qualify. This could block you from playing multiplayer games. Now, you say, click here for more information. I've done all that, right? I've done it all, and none of it worked. I've done other things as well that doesn't say on this link. I've tried fix it. Nothing seems to remove this error. So, I'm a little bit stumped as to what I could do. And I think that's why we have this weird connection issue when I'm on multiplayer. Alright, so we're about to level off here at 220. Let's just pull the throttles back a little bit. And I'm going to scroll the speed up to 300 knots, which is our... Actually, you can't set a little speed bug in this aircraft, can you? So we're just going to have to eyeball it. 300 knots is going to be our cruise speed, so we're just accelerating up to that now. Getting a little bit of turbulence coming off these mountains here. Look at that though, that is freaking stunning. Oops, resume. Didn't mean to do that. Heyo, Ramsey, welcome, buddy. Hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you. So we're accelerating to our cruise speed here, but we are actually pretty rapidly approaching our top of descent. So yeah, don't even really need to worry about things too much. I'm going to set my altitude then back down to 2,000 feet. Actually, I'll double check that in a minute, but I'll set it to that for now. I think it's 4,000 actually, so we'll do 4,000. You've got an altitude constraint at 4,000. VPath is captured. It's now going to start descending on its own. I'm just going to idle the throttles. So we're now descending. It's captured the VNav path and it's going to start descending us. So let's have a quick check on our charts real quick. So I'm just going to scroll this over to the arrival. Well, not the arrival because there's no constraints on that, but we want to look at this chart here. So 4,000 feet and then 3,300 is to capture the the glide path. So I'm going to set it to 3,300 as the lowest altitude. So that's all set, and we are descending. What we'll also do here as well is I'll bring up the refs menu and scroll down to the minimums. Minimums is going to be, I'm just going to use this minimum here, 1164 as the minimum. So we'll select Barrow, oops, wrong knob. There we go, and we're going to go for 1164 because we're a category B aircraft. Because this thing approaches at quite a slow speed, I think 100 knots. So I think that falls us under category B if I remember correctly. So 1070, we'll round that up, and there's a minimum set there. So then we'll come back down to the FMS here and go to perf, and we'll go on to approach, and we'll get our METAR for our destination, Limj or Genoa, as you can see here at the top of the chart. LIMJ, Genoa, Italy, and the winds are 230 at 4. The temperature is 26 degrees. Even the temperature up at this altitude is 26 degrees. Holy crap, it's so warm here in Italy at the moment. 1012 is the QNH, and that's going to be it for our approach ref. Anti-ice is obviously going to be off, and we'll send that to the to the PFD, so that's going to show up on our speed tape when we get slow enough. That's good. So that's all done for our arrival. We'll leave that for now, and we're looking good. Probably don't even need the pitot heat on for this flight, to be honest. Look at how warm it is outside. It's crazy. Okay, so we can use this chart for our arrival, and it should start tracking the aircraft in from Calmo once we reach that fix. We could actually zoom this map out right here and just see. So you got Calmo there in about 20 miles or so, just under maybe. So we're descending. I mean, I think you usually descend on idle power in this aircraft, but we could probably descend a bit quicker. We've got, we're getting about 185 knots in the descent here, so we could put a bit of power in and speed things up. The throttles seem to be lagging a bit when I'm moving them. That's a bit weird. I think it's when I hold down the mouse. Yeah, it's when I hold down the right click they freeze, but then when I let go. So we'll get a bit of a quicker descent speed in. Why not? Daniel, welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome from Canoas, Brazil. Have a nice flight. Thank you very much, dude. You have a fantastic afternoon. Ramsey, thank you very much for the 100 stars as well, by the way, dude. Apologies if I did not thank you for that earlier on, but I appreciate it nevertheless. Very kind as always. Chicken Fried Noodles, welcome to the chat. Good to see you again. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. You get the same thing running the Xbox networking. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do about it, to be honest. I'm not sure if that is what affects my experience here in Microsoft Flight Simulator, or whether it's something else, but nevertheless, it's a little bit annoying. This looks fantastic out the window here, though, doesn't it? Look at this. See if we can get a nice little shot right here. Oh, it's moving too much. There we go. Oh dear. The turbulence, please no. Oh god, I'm going to need to time this out. I don't know if I got it there or not. It's bumping up and down too much. I can't. If we go outside. Getting some serious turbulence coming off the mountains here. There we go. Harris is still behind us. Love to see it. Absolutely mega views coming out here. Mega. Alright, so let me just set a bit of a better view here, because there we go. Nice. Okay, cool. Alright, so we're on our way down. Picked up a bit of speed here as we wanted. 240 knots is probably about fine. Still on the profile, everything's looking good. We're just maybe a bit high, but we're still looking absolutely fine. Approaching Calmo, as you can see, we're appearing on the chart here, which is lovely. And we're going to come down, follow this path. This does actually have some minimums on this chart. So you've got a minimum flight level of 900 on this leg, and then 6,500, 5,000 on this leg. So we might have to just might just stick those in. So Barmo, flight level 90. So I'm just going to go 9,000 at Barmo, 9,000 or above. And then that continues through to this next fix. So 9,000 or above. This might be affecting our vertical profile here, which it is. So it's actually stopped us from descending. So that's okay. Now, oh, okay. So we actually removed this fix, didn't we, from the arrival because of how it was conflicting with our approach. So I'm not going to bother with that, and that's 4,000 is fine there. So that's good. It did stop our descent here just momentarily, but it's going to recapture the path here. It's still got VPath armed, or path armed really. So you can see the magenta diamonds coming back down, and then it'll start us descending in a second here. You can see there's a top of descent on our PFD. It's just disappeared now, but there we go again. We are descending. I'm actually just going to idle the throttles now because we are getting quite close to our arrival. I'm going to set the altimeter as well to the correct QNH, which is 1012. So they have this really cool feature now where you can change the QNH without having to set it straight away, which is quite nice. But I'm going to just set it now because we've cleared ourselves down to an altitude, so we don't need to use standard pressure. And as you can see, we are just flying along this path here, and I think it's just going to go direct into our arrival. So we'll switch that over, and it's going to just turn left here and go straight into Tiglo. Tiglo is actually sorry, we didn't use Tiglo, did we? We used MJ501, so yeah, it's just going to go direct to MJ501, so that's no issues. We could have maybe used Gikut, that might have been a better transition to use, but that's fine, no issues at all. We've got max 185 knots actually at this waypoint, so I am just going to try and meet that. It's going to be quite difficult, but let's put a bit of speed brake in and see if we can get our speed down a bit here, because we are quite quick. Now if we come down here, you can see our first fix is MJ501. We do have a little bit of a very, very slight descent then, so that should allow us then to get configured. And then our final approach is 9.6 miles. You can see here the distance at the bottom from here. This is the glide path. We're not using an ILS, this is an RNAV approach. So it is crucial to have the correct Q and H in. So I'm actually just going to press B on my keyboard and make sure that's correct. Okay, so the METAR is slightly different to what's actually reflected in sim, but that's fine. Okay, so we are slowing down nicely to 185 knots, so that's good. We're on idle power, so we can't really pull the power out, so I'm having to use the speed brakes here. You can see these little tiny little speed brakes. But they're doing a pretty nice job. Look at this approach, so this is stunning. Ian, yes, I am on a little bit earlier today, yeah. Okay, so we are more or less on profile. Well, we are on profile just a bit above 180 knots. Let's put in the speed brakes just a touch here. Just going to zoom the map in a bit. Look at this approach, so this is freaking lovely. Lovely. Alright, let's get the seatbelt signs on and the logo and landing lights on as well.
At this time, please comply with the illuminated seatbelt.
Genoa traffic, Cessna Citation CJ4 is on approach. We are at 40 miles for runway 28. Okay, so we're going to continue the descent here. This is a much shallower descent here, so I'll put the speed brakes in. This is going to allow us to slow down a bit. We don't need to get the flaps in yet. This thing slows down really quite well. So we're just going to continue descending down to 3,300 here, which is the required altitude at this fix. MJ502, which you can see is just here. And, sorry. Yeah. MJ502 just there, so it's going to level off at 3.3 now. I'm going to add a bit of power in, and I'm going to arm approach. So by clicking approach, that's actually going to arm. That's not going to give us. It's not going to work in the same way as a glide slope. You can see here it's armed glide path, which is slightly different to a glide slope. It's indicating that we are using a FMS calculated glide path based on the nav data, and it's 3.7 degrees. So once we reach this next fix, it should capture glide path and disconnect the VNav and head on down. Go around altitude is 3,000 feet, so we'll set that once we've captured the glide path here. In fact, we can just set that now. So we'll set 3,000. There we go. VALT-V is flashing because we changed the altitude, but we are still at a altitude constraint as noted here in the magenta. You can actually just click Alt there, so it's just going to hold that altitude. We'll click VNav off as well. There we go. So we've got V glide path, so that's good. VNav's been knocked off now. We are on just glide path. That's what I expected, but that's fine. Okay, so let's go flaps 15. Just below 200 knots there, so fine to put the flaps out. And we're going to start descending on down. Runway is in sight just there, looking great. This approach is something else. We've got a couple of boats out there as well, pretty nice. We've got a, this is a sort of a, it is a pay-where scenery for this airport, but it's kind of, yeah, I'll explain once we get there. Look at that bridge down there, holy. Okay, that sun glare is making it extremely difficult to see the runway. I'm just going to, I think, get past the glare before I actually take manual control here. Alright, so speed's looking good. 5.6 miles to the runway. As you can see, passing through 2,000 feet, 5.7 miles, that's looking good. Go around altitude is set. Alright, that glare's not going to go away, is it? Alright, I'm going to just drop the gear. My keybind doesn't work for that, but there we go. Let's drop the gear. That's going to give us a tiny bit more drag so that we can actually lose a bit more speeds.
Autopilot.
Disconnect the autopilot, go for flaps 35. And let's bring it in.
Minimums.
Minimums continue. Look at this approach, so whew, got all the cranes and stuff, and it's like whatever this is on the left. Getting a little bit low here, so I'm just going to trim that. Trim us a little bit and get us back on the 3.5 degree profile. I'm not sure if these pappies are going to be calibrated at 3.5 degrees though, so let's see, do we actually have any wind? We've got a slight crosswind from the left, only 4 knots though. There we go, 2 whites, 2 reds.
500.
Yeah, we're getting a bit of a crab angle going here. Trying to get it back on center line. A little bit high now, which I'm correcting for. And just holding it there. A little bit of right rudder to bring that crab off. There we go. Boilers. Get a bit of braking in, probably be helpful, wouldn't it? There we have it. Let's get those flaps all the way up and the spoilers in. 37 feet per minute though. Oh, I'd love to see it. That was a slightly long landing, but I mean this thing stops pretty quick, so I don't know if that's really too much of a concern for us. It didn't pop up on the screen though, which is a bit annoying. I thought I fixed that. Okay then, so we're here at Genoa. Welcome guys, let's get the taxi lights on, the strobe lights off. And, oh. I didn't do any of the checklists after we took off, did I? Oops. We could do the after landing. Let's not go into the water here. This has got an absolutely stunning setting right here. If I just do a bit of this. You don't really get the idea of it from, I mean you don't really get the sense of it from the other side, but look at that. Beautiful. Such a cool little airport. Got Harris landing behind us as well. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Ramsey, dude. I'm glad. I'm flattered that you learn from me. All right, off we pop back to the terminal. Look at these little stubby gears. So stubby. Very cute. Alright, so we're crawling along here. That's actually quite nice, so I can get some of these checklists done. So, we did the takeoff. That's fine. Checklist complete. After takeoff climb. That was all completed. We can turn the pitot heat off now. Let me not forget about that one. Okay, that was all done. Cruise checklist done. We did all that. We did all that. Ugh. We did all that. Okay, landing checklist. We did all that. Go around button. We don't need to do go around. After landing checklist. Speed brakes. 0. Flaps are 0. Pitot heat is off. Ice protection system, we never turned it on. Radar, we can turn to standby now. We'll get that off there. And the exterior lights as required. Okay, after landing checklist complete. That is all of the checklist. There isn't actually a parking checklist in this thing. But we can go to the charts now and just switch over to the airport charts and have a quick look here. So I think we're going to park maybe somewhere over here. I think that's the general aviation parking area. I'm not quite sure in this airport. Probably be a good idea if we brought up the 10-9A there. So if we bring up this and go oh, it's not going to work, is it? We can't do that. Never mind. We'll just have to eyeball it. I know this is obviously the main terminal here, and then you've got Aero Club here in the background. So yeah, I mean, we're just going to eyeball it and see what we can find. Carl, welcome. Good evening. I hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you. Good to see you, good to see you. We didn't actually turn the radar off, did we? There we go. That's turned off now. Alright, that was great. That was great fly, guys. Enjoyed that. This thing is very satisfying to fly. Always extremely satisfying. Let's have a quick look outside then. So as I mentioned earlier, this is an airport that costs money. However, I don't think it's quite done to a payware standard, but basically what you do is you go on this website and you can pay, you actually pay 23 euros and you get access to about 7 or 8, maybe 10 or 12 airports that are all of this similar quality, and they are very, very good, don't get me wrong. But obviously the amount of time they've spent on them is perhaps a little bit less than what you would expect from a payware airport, but it's done basically almost payware quality. As you can see, they've put a ton of boats in the harbour here, which is very cool. And they obviously all the cranes and stuff we saw on the way in, this levee, the boats out there as well. Ground textures are quite good, but they do look a bit low resolution in some places. And then we'll see the main terminal as we come around here, just over there. And it is pretty good quality. You'll see once we get in. But it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty nicely done. I can't lie. It's worth it, considering you get like 10 airports or something for the price of one, basically. This thing is a delight to taxi. Alright, so yeah, maybe we'll park over here. Harris is over there. He's over at the cargo apron. You can see that says FedEx on there as well. Pretty cool. So they have gone in with some details. Well, quite a lot of details actually. You'll see on the main terminal when I show you. But look at these taxiway markings. Pretty nice, really. Look at that shadow. Whew. Yes. Alright, I think we'll turn in at one of these stands on the right. Or maybe on the left. Let's get our Millionaire guests as close to the terminal as possible here. Let's get the taxi lights off as we face in towards the terminal. I muck that turn up a little bit there. All right, look at this. It's got a dotted line here. Oh, I like it. I like it. Okay, I see. I see. So we're going to make a bit of a right turn here. Let's see if we can get right on that arrow. Need a bit more power to get around here. There we are. And here we go. I don't know necessarily if this is the spot where you would actually park, but we're doing it. Okay, there we go. Parking brake is set. Let's turn both the engines off. Beacon light off. Seatbelt signs off. Let's just silence these warnings. And climate control off as well. Should have really turned that off before we turn the engines off, but that's fine. Let's clear these master warnings. And yeah, I'm really praying for the day you can open the doors on this thing. That would be so cool. Unfortunately, you just can't. Oh no, I'm off a little bit. God damn it. God damn it. Manacle, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Those illuminator buttons, Gert. Yeah, they are a bit fugacious, aren't they? But I've decided to switch to this newer control method for the sole reason that that's the only way that you can move the charts around in this aircraft at the moment. If you set it to legacy, it doesn't work, so that's the sole reason that I'm on that at the moment. But yeah, I think for other aircraft I won't be using it like this. Alright, let's turn the avionics off anyway, and it's going to give us this menu, of course. Oh, and some music as well. Fantastic. I'll turn the display, standby display instrument off, and we could turn these lights off externally as well, and the battery off. Great stuff. All right, cool. Let's have a quick look around the airport then. So, as I said, it does cost money, this airport, but it comes in a pack with many airports. Actually, I can probably just show you in a second. And this is the main terminal. As you can see, it's pretty well done, to be honest. I can't get the camera to go straight. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, it is pretty well done. They've got the logos on here, nice crisp textures, and some nice tinted windows there. Even though there's nothing inside, it still looks pretty good. You've even got the airport logo on the glass there, which is quite nice. But yeah, I mean, it looks like a pretty well done model, I can't lie. Very nicely detailed there. And then even if you spin around to the land side, they've done detailing out here as well. A bunch of taxis, some roads. They've done the car park. They've added a few palm trees in there as well. Obviously, you've got these buildings over here, which have had some detail applied to them. And then, obviously, the usual little bits of clutter and whatnot. Not sure what this is supposed to be. This looks a bit interesting. Kind of looks like a tent, but it's not. Let's have a look up here. They've got some nice little details up here. This cool little balcony. Oh my god, that looks fantastic with the sun, doesn't it? Look at that. That's magic. That's screenshot material right there. Beautiful. And then you've got a bit of detail here, a control tower with glass as well. They even put the airport logo on this glass right here. Very cool. And then I haven't really checked out over here, so let's see what we've got. We've got some other buildings with some nice detail. These look like they're flat textures, but I mean, again, I'm not really going to complain too much because of the price of this thing. Overall, the general effect is pretty nice. So this was the Aero Club over here, wasn't it? It said on the charts. So let's have a quick look. Is there actually an Aero Club sign or anything here? Doesn't look like it. Okay. And then final spot, we'll check out where Harris is parked. Got the post there as well. I think this is the cargo apron. And then you've got all this detailing in the background in the port, which is just stunning, really. Just adds a lot of atmosphere. And then you've got the main control tower, it looks like, right here. Let's see, is there anything in this one? No, nothing. But overall, pretty good airport, really. Can't complain. Give it a bit of a zoomage here. Oh god, this I can't ever get the camera to go straight. It always goes a tiny bit to one side, which is that bugs me. But anyway, there you go. It's quite a decent one. If you're on PC, unfortunately you can't get this on Xbox. But if you're on PC, it's beautifulmodelworld.ru. I know that sounds like it could be something different, but that's what it is. A beautiful model of the world. And as you can see, there's quite a few on here. Now, what you pay for on this website is a membership, and it's €24. And then as a result, there's 3 free airports on there that anyone can download. But the paid ones, there is quite a few more, as you can see here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, 9 total, because that one's free. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 airports, all for that price, which is pretty good. Oh, 18 as well. Didn't notice that one before. Is there any more? No. But they are looking very, very nice. Even if you look at, say, this Bilbao airport, which is quite a big airport, this one looks really nice, actually. So, can I make these bigger? I don't know if I can, actually. But if you have a look, they've even got an interior to the terminal. They've got a really impressive terminal here at Bilbao. You've got the control tower, which looks quite well modelled. The main terminal area, which looks really, really good, I'm not going to lie. There you go. Looking pretty good, looking pretty good. Just going to disconnect VATSIM there, we don't need that on anymore. There you go. Looking very, very nice indeed. So I think the reason why these are so cheap is because I think some of these started as freeware projects, but then they've been, you know, expanded upon and detailed a lot further than what, you know, your average freeware project does. So yeah, pretty much worth it, I think, in my opinion. Can't get anything on Xbox. That is a lot. That is not correct. Obviously, you can get stuff through the marketplace, but it's not. Obviously, you can't get a lot of the freeware that we can get here on PC. Let's see. You can even open doors on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2002. Yeah, I mean you can on some aircraft, but mainly the payware ones. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, really. I'd love to be able to open the doors on the CJ4. Now then, Mike, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. No particular problems with the CJ4 after Sim Update 5? No, it doesn't seem to be. Flown it a couple of times now, and it's worked flawlessly both times. It's actually incredibly good, the CJ4. I don't understand how they get it to work so well. Nice to be there with a beer right now. Yeah, it certainly would be, wouldn't it? Certainly would. Freaking stunning location. What's available on flightsim.to gadget? I know there's a couple of airports off that website that are on flightsim.to, but they're the free ones. I think the Bolzano as well, which is part of the membership, is on flightsim.to as well. So there's probably a couple of them that are on there, but not certainly not all of them. Certainly not this one anyway, which is one of the best ones, I think, in my opinion. They've even got the... oh no, they don't. I thought they had the ILS modelled in. I don't even know if they have an ILS here. I think it's all RNAV. They've got a VOR there, a VOR modelled. We can actually check. We can actually check if that's in the right spot. I mean, it looks like it is based on the satellite imagery. But if we brought up the tablet here, the fuzz pad, we can actually check that. So, Genoa, airport information. There we go, VOR. It's in the right location. Gotta love it. It does say ILS antenna as well, 23 feet. That's not modelled in the airport. Maybe they'll add that in the future. Alright, well, we're here anyway. Let's have a quick look at the landing report. So, 37 feet per minute. You've got to love it. Congratulations, by the way, to Teddy Saunders for guessing it correctly. I think you were the only one to guess it, but nevertheless, congratulations. Let's look at the landing report. 1.36 G, so not too bad, really. Pretty long landing, as you can see. There's a touchdown zone, and we're kind of way out of it here, but nevertheless, it was an absolute butter landing. So can't complain too much there. We still stopped in plenty of time. So yeah, no issues at all there with that. 16 feet off center line, so a little bit to the left, and 0.96 degrees of roll, and the heading was off by 1 degree. So overall, not bad at all. I think I could probably flare a bit later in the CJ4 than what I do. I think that's probably just because I'm not used to flying it as of late. Alright guys, well that unfortunately is going to be everything from me for today, because like I said earlier on, only got time for a fairly short stream today. I'm going to head off now and get some tea and whatnot, and yeah, I will be back again tomorrow. Harris is now following me on Xbox. Okay, fantastic stuff. Awesome. Alright guys, so yeah, once again, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Short but sweet, I think, in this stream today. Enjoy flying the CJ4 every time. So thank you very much guys for tuning in. I hope you guys have enjoyed. James, thank you very much for flying along as well. And everyone else that tuned in. Mike, thank you very much for the 50 stars as well, by the way, dude. Sorry if I missed that earlier on. Much appreciated. Factful, thank you very much for the follow as well on Facebook. Everyone else, thank you very much for tuning in. Mariner, take it easy, dude. And everyone else, thank you so much. I hope you have a fantastic evening. And again, I'll be live tomorrow. And I'm going to be going live sort of early afternoon tomorrow. And definitely going to be doing a bit of a longer stream tomorrow. So hopefully have a bit more content for you. But nevertheless, take it easy, everybody. I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye-bye for now. See ya. Teddy, take it easy, brother.